Hi everyone, Exeter Rider, thanks for joining me once again. Now, this week is a big week because I will be doing my first ride video of the 2021 Honda NC750X.
Well then guys, so let's quickly just look at the styling a minute. Massive facelift. It's still very much noticeable that it is an NC. Now I've just ridden it for about 10 miles, so this is still like the first ride. I mean, it's utterly different. First of all, let's start with the seat. Now this is a re-sculptured seat now. It's totally different than the old one. It's a lot flatter and a lot more comfortable. My senses are telling me that at the moment I cannot see that you'd have any problems riding on that all day. Massive improvement on that front. I did sit on the back earlier. The back is still kind of similar to the old model, and yeah, it's quite thin, but it's certainly, again, it's more comfortable than the existing model. Now those who've owned Honda NC750s before will know that you couldn't live without a frunk, and this one here is, well, it looks huge compared to the existing model. I think it was an extra litre that you get in there compared to the older model, but yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. It's a lovely size. The one thing I've noticed that's missing is the tank bag slots that we had on the old one. You used to be able to tie a tank bag in and around there, whereas now that's gone, which is a bit of a shame. Now I was expecting a big difference on the gearing, because the first, second and third is a lot lower ratioed on this new model, on the 2021, and the sixth gear is a lot higher. In all honesty, I haven't noticed that. So whether they've just made the actual gearing smaller, or whether they've actually decreased the amount of teeth that's on each cog, I don't know, or increased it, of course, whichever way around it may be, depending on whether it's on the input shaft or the output. I haven't really noticed a huge difference on that part. Perhaps a small difference in first. It does tend to start off a bit softer. So, right, let's enough of all that, let's get on and have a ride, shall we? So we've got the integrated kill switch here now, which has got this start on it as well. Start button. Got the dash there. We got that's very readable. It's very nice. And a lot of people were saying so it's still got that original NC sound, and we've got this selector here, which is much like what I used to consider was much like the Africa Twin, but obviously it is a lot more different now. So up into, where are we, third gear now. We're in standard mode at the moment, so we got standard, rain and user on the dash. I think standard is pretty much where you want it to be, really, so that's quite a bit different. So to ride, it's much smoother. The DCT does feel a lot more fluent, I think the word is, for whatever reason. So whether again that's to do with the new ratios, I don't know. And a lot of people were saying as well that that they had issues with the seat height being slightly lower. Now I'm 5'8", I've got a 30-inch inside leg, and the new lower seat height has made a positive difference to me. I didn't have too much of an issue with it before, but it was slightly on the high side, shall we say, for me. Whereas now this is, yeah, I'm okay with this. I can get my feet down nearly flat, but not quite, whereas the old model I was on tiptoes. No, I hadn't tiptoes, I was on the balls of my feet. So this has made a nice difference. The one thing that you will notice about the new one is its power delivery. It's utterly different. And I don't want to give away too much because I will be doing a full review on this bike at some point. But compared to the old model, it's utterly different. This bike is more dynamic, you know. It's got a lot more get up and go to it. And what people used to say to me, people who didn't know about bikes, they used to say, oh, what bike have you got then? I said, oh, I've got an NC750. Not that they'd know what it was, but what I used to say to them was that it's an NC750, but it's not really built for speed. It's an economical commuter. Whereas again, you can kind of wipe the slate on that one, because this one has a lot more power to it. And if I just knock it down into sport a second, I'll show you that in a minute. How do I do it again? Oh, I'm pushing the wrong one now. Mode. There you go. Right, so we put it into sport. Now the old one seemed to you know, just find it getting traction was a little bit of a it just wasn't very quick, whereas this one here is just lively. You know, it's just utterly different. Utterly different. And you can, I think this bike now is a bike which you can have a lot of fun on. I don't really think you could do that on the old one. You know, you can make the most of it type of fun, but with this one it is fun to chuck around, and it is fun to give it some welly. So there's a car behind me a long way back, so I'm just going to take it down a peg just quickly, and then we're just going to open it up. Got a 60 limit here, and there you go, I'm 60 already, look. And yeah, what a difference, what a difference. And I feel a lot more of a pull on my arms now than what I did on the other model. So for those who don't know, now first of all, those who don't know, I have owned my Honda NC750 for around 18 months now, maybe it's 2 years, I can't honestly remember now. But yeah, I've had it a little while, so it's a bike I know very well. And why did I buy it? Well, it just suited me. I wanted a bike that was a commuter, and that did, it could do a bit of everything, is what I wanted really. So if I wanted to go on the motorway and tour, it would be good for that. If I wanted to go around town, it would be good for that. I love the whole thing of not changing gear. I don't miss that one iota on this bike. When I go on another bike, I just fall straight into it again. I don't really, it's not like you get rusty. It's a bit like riding a bike, isn't it? You know, quite literally. So yeah, on that front, that's why I bought it. So, and but what I have noticed about Honda as well is that they do listen. You know, people's grumps and grimes with bikes, you know, it does get fed back to Honda R&D department, and it takes them a while to get things changed, but when they do, they tick all the boxes. And as I say, the seat is better now. It's got more poke. It's not that boring. Well, boring's the wrong word, but you know, it's just got more energy now. It's come to life a bit more, this engine. The only thing I would say that they haven't done, and I can see why, is they haven't given us a decent screen. That is still too low for highway riding and things like that. So when you get one of these bikes, I think you'll find that most people, probably 99% of people, do go for the aftermarket taller screen. Which what have I got? I've got a Givey touring screen on mine. It's very good. It's really good. So that's the only thing they haven't done, which would have been nice, but I can see why they haven't, because it's not going to sell bikes so well, is it? It's not going to look so sexy if you've got a whacking great screen on it. So it does make sense. Overall, it's just a big improvement. It's an exciting bike to ride now, you know. Whereas before it was just a nice bike to ride. It's got a bit of adrenaline running through this bike. It does get up to speed very quickly. It is, I wouldn't class it as a quick bike, but I class it as a, you know, eager bike. You know, it does get up to speed pretty quick. We've got these indicators now as well, which are on all the time. And then when you indicate, like so, if you look on the right hand side there, it just flashes on and off. And again, it's got a taller 6th gear now, but I didn't really notice that. I mean, I was doing about 70 miles an hour, you're at about 3,600 revs. I think that is about the same as my bike, my 2017 model, so not a huge difference there. And I was expecting a bit more of a noticeable difference on the DCT ratios, but whatever they have done to the first, second and third gears was worthwhile. Every bit counts on that, because on my bike, the 2017, it was a little bit jerky, whereas a lower gear ratio just softens it up a bit. The mirrors are exactly the same as before, I believe. I've got aftermarket mirrors on mine, foldable ones to get it past the car and the drive, and yeah, they're good. They don't really vibrate very much. As I say, the screen's good. Yes, it's not TFT. A lot of people saying, "Well, wish it was TFT." I don't want to, you know, put another £300 or £400 on a, you know, on a good bike. You know, give me that screen any day over a TFT. Others were saying, "Well, wish it was a twin front disc brake." Well, again, I don't. You know, this bike is around, I've got to check this, but I think it's about £8,300, which for a bike of this stature is a more than fair price. You know, once you buy this bike, they don't ever go wrong, really. I have heard of them going wrong, but it's very, very rare. And you know, you get the Honda warranty, so normally it's just teething problems, but you know, this does feel much better than the original model all round. And strangely enough, it actually feels a lot lighter than the old bike as well. I know they've shaved off about 4 kilograms if I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, doing U-turns and that seems to feel a lot easier than it was on the old one. I'm not sure if that is the case, I don't know. Let's chuck her into neutral. Yeah, so to look at, I think it's much better. It's funny, I've had this in the garage, and I put it next to my old one, and my old one just seems so much more bulbous than what this one is. It's not really a huge amount of difference, but they've done all these tweaks all the way around, and yeah, it does look a lot better. There's no doubt about that. The blue colour, I know everybody says blue is the fastest. I think I've got a red one, so it's got to be red as the fastest. No, that's silly. But no, I think the blue looks great. And in fact, the red one that is available in the 2021 model is also really nice. You know, I mean, I've got a red one, but it's a lot more of a darker burgundy red. Whereas the red one on the new NC is a dashing red. You know, it's a bright, vibrant red. So yeah, that makes a big difference. Essentially everything else is pretty much the same. You know, the engine's the same. I've got a couple things with that as well. I think the because it's Euro 5, when you open it up in first gear, there is a bit of hesitation, and I find this a lot with Euro 5 bikes. Or let me rephrase that, Euro 5 bikes which haven't had the engine capacity increased. This is still the same 750cc engine that was in the original, but Euro 5, so they've obviously had to do things with the emissions. But yeah, there is a bit of a hesitation. Like I say, I get this a lot with Euro 5 bikes. But yeah, so that's a little bit strange, but you know, it's nothing to write home about. But yeah, a lot of the people might be thinking, well, Is it worth me buying a second-hand Honda NC750, like pre 2021? I would say, to be honest, I think it is worth going the extra mile. If you can save that extra bit of cash for the new model, then it is worthwhile. It is a much better bike, to be frank. A much better bike. Shame it hasn't got the cruise control. That's one of my bugbears with it, but maybe in time. Maybe they'll bring out a sort of adventure style one, which to be honest, I think that's what they're going to do. I could be wrong, I'm not going to place any bets on it, but I think they'll make an adventure model with this, and it'll have a few more gizmos on it, whether it's the heated grips or the cruise control, because obviously we have got the fly-by-wire on this bike now. And one of your questions might be, is it any smoother on the throttle? And I thought it was going to be, but it's actually not. It doesn't feel a lot different than what my 2017 model is. Still got the 17-inch tyres. Some people were saying, well, they want a 19 on the front. For me, I still don't class this as an off-road machine. I know some people do. I really don't. It hasn't got the ground clearance. It hasn't got the big front wheel. I mean, it'll do light gravel stuff, but the suspension isn't set up for it either. I think it's just it is an adventure bike, and it will do a certain amount of off-road, but essentially this is still a good commuter bike stroke touring bike. That's where it is for me, and that's where it really shines. So yeah, so far no complaints about it. Like I say, if it was mine, you would definitely want a bigger screen. I'm pretty sure most people want a bigger screen, and I'll probably want some sort of rear hugger on that rear wheel, which I believe that the aftermarket ones may fit this one, the 2021 model. Whereas I can tell you straight away, for those who are wondering, the taller Givy touring screens won't fit this model. Alright, so before anyone asks. It's great having the bigger frunk as well. And the seat, I tell you what, obviously I've modified my seat on my NC, but it's a huge difference having a decent seat on a bike. It's hard, it's a strong thing to say, but it kind of ruined the NC a little bit, the existing seat, whereas this is just, that seat is pretty damn good. It's not super comfortable, but they got the balance just right between super comfortable and quite firm, on a good budget. And this is what you get with this bike, isn't it? 8,300 quid. You get a very, very well made bike. And yeah, so is it fair to say they smashed out of the park with this one? Oh, I think they have, really. Yeah, I think they have. It's yeah, it's just a huge improvement. It's everything, all those niggles that I had on the 2019 model, it's all done now, and sorted it all out. The engine braking, I've had a little play with that. I can't see any difference, to be honest with you, whether it's on setting 1 or setting 3. Again, I was expecting a bit more from that, but yeah, it's made no difference really. But yeah, it definitely feels a whole new, different, better bike. Another thing I like as well is these indicators, the way they are shown up here. Yeah, the list goes on, to be honest, folks. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed before, can you drop us a subscribe, because I've got lots and lots of videos coming out on this one, hopefully. And it'll be awesome to, oh no, I can't go down there now. It'll be awesome to have you along on my journey and see what adventures I have on this bike. I've got a couple of things lined up. If you could give it a like as well, then that means that we can get the message out on how great this bike is, because it really is. As you all know, I've tried many bikes over the last, long time actually, but I own one of these, and I own one of these because of all the things which I've just been telling you. So they are very, very good bikes. possibly might even get Bike of the Year this one, you know. Obviously I've missed out last year for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's brilliant. So if you could give it a great big like, that would be super cool, and it would knock me up the analytics, and it makes a huge difference to me. And yeah, I guess I'll leave you in peace. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments and I will sort them out for you, and I'll write them down and answer your questions. So yeah, I will see you next Monday at 4 PM. Thank you very much for watching, everybody.